expect otherwise. This month I saved $10.80 on Woxers. I do not regret that purchase at all. So comfortable. And $17.25 on an engagement gift for a friend. I love Honey. I have been using it for years. If you online shop and you have a computer, Honey should be installed on it. Again, it is free and takes just 2 clicks to install. So go to joinhoney.com/GB and get Honey installed today for just 2 clicks. That's joinhoney.com/GB. It's free and it works with whatever browser you use. Thank you so much, Honey, for sponsoring today's video, and thank you for watching. Hello, everybody. It's me, Gibi, the 1970s homemaker, housewife extraordinaire. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay. I tried to do my hair 70s. These are my mother's earrings. And this dress was my grandmother's from the 70s. I'm gonna tilt down the camera just so you can see the fantastic pattern on this. So today is a themed video based on a prop that we had in a previous video. That is this incredible piece of literature. How to run your house without letting it run you. And I took this from my grandmother's house. It's copyrighted. 1973, and it was $6.95. I got some requests to do a full video of this. It smells like a book from the 70s. Just reading through some of it. This is not a very involved video, but I haven't done a video in a long time, which is like simply just like reading. So I figured this was perfect. Now the preface to this book is that it's by 1,000 authors. That's right, 1,000 women. And as you're going to find very quickly, the 1970s, very gendered. Women, only women, homemakers allowed in this book. 1,000 women have written this book. They are homemakers all over the country who have sent their tips for easier homemaking to Farm Journal magazine. They have shared ideas on keeping up with the house, yard, husband, children, and unexpected guests. So, only heterosexual women, housemakers. Ideas from stretching storage space in closets to making a heart-shaped cake without a special mold. We publish their best ideas fix for your household. Okay, anyway, let's see if they say that as well. Young mother blues. The early years of marriage can be especially trying. It's when your first youngsters are in the help-me stage, and your home and equipment are not the latest. To top it off, you may be learning basic homemaking skills. I think I shed an ocean full of tears in the first year of our married life. I've been married for almost 2 years. Okay, sorry. One New York State woman recalls, "How many batches of cookies and Johnny cakes I threw out, no one will ever know." Okay, like that's fair. I cannot bake for my life at all. So just remember that you are not alone in your frustrations. And things do get better. The next 10 years will bring you more conveniences. Your children will be older and can help themselves, and help you if you guide them. You'll achieve cooking and housekeeping competence that only experience can give you, consoles an Illinois homemaker. Meanwhile, work on improving what you can, and don't expect too much of yourself. Definitely agree that a lot of these things are like skills, like skills that you do need to spend time and energy on learning. Be realistic. Stop trying to be ideal. I was known as a perfectionist, a Nebraska woman writes. On wash day, all the socks had to hang on the line identically, in pairs, by the heels, to the right. All cup handles in a cupboard had to point in the same direction so they could be grabbed quickly. Gradually, I learned to relax. Certainly I wouldn't be remembered for my cup handles, or would I? This letting go takes self-discipline, but relaxed standards mean a more relaxed you. Stop competing with relatives and neighbors too. I used to admire one gal's weedless garden, another's spotless home, a third's freezer full of everything yummy. I added reading, sewing, and decorating to things I'd like to do, until the total was enough to panic an old pro, says a South Dakota homemaker. Find your talent, maybe making apple pie or cinnamon rolls, and specialize in it. Expect your house to be somewhat messy, as long as little children live in it. What if it's just 2 adults and 1 giant fluffy white dog? Is that okay? Tell yourself it has the super banged up lived-in look, suggests a Kansas family. Try to appreciate dolls, storybooks, toy tractors, and colored blocks as part of the decor and beauty of a real home. The house will be neat, maybe too neat, after the children grow up and leave home. A little aside. Here's a trick to use when the house is a mess and you hear visitors coming up the driveway. Run and put the sweeper in the middle of the floor as though you were just beginning to clean. Then you can relax and enjoy the visitor. I will be using that one. Thank you very much. Eventually, you'll be able to greet unexpected callers without panic. You won't even apologize for clutter or spilled oatmeal. Besides, the repairman probably left a similar site and feels right at home. Get your perspective in focus and set priorities for yourself. Husband is number 1. Then come the children. And then the house. Most homemakers agree. I'm a grandmother now, and believe me, none of the high moments of my life are memories of an impeccable house, writes an Iowa woman. Of course, you can't ignore the house. Just distinguish what must be done and what can slide a little. A Washington woman set this minimum standard for herself. Provide the family with simple, nourishing food, clean beds, clean clothes, and a house clean and tidy enough for comfort. Everything else is optional. Sounds pretty good. Give top billing to things that bug you the most when left undone. Your morale may need an orderly porch or a dusted hall. Find out your husband's preferences too, so that he can do them himself. knows what I like and I know what Ben likes, so that like we can keep it in mind because we're both. It's fine. It's fine. I do not have to keep prefacing this. An Oklahoma woman takes time to bake bread because that makes her husband feel he rates. That is some 70s grammar right there. I don't know what's going on. In Iowa, however, another wife buys baked goods. Her husband prefers a neat kitchen to stacks of unwashed bread and cake pans soaking in the sink. Husbands vary. Oh, good. You may find the house and your habits don't bother your husband at all, and he may not know that you're upset about not keeping up, says a South Dakota homemaker. We women often expect our husbands to be mind readers. Tell him how you feel. He may suggest ways to help. Organize, the key step. A routine preserves me from self-destruction, states a Florida woman who voices the opinion of many. Some people claim a routine gets them down, but the world and everyone in it seems to work on a routine basis. Secretaries, doctors, mechanics, even farmers. A routine is a personal thing. It may be written in detail on paper, especially if you are a lister. I'm a lister. This gives you something to cross off as you complete each job, and you can check your accomplishments at the end of the day. But you can also make an outline in your head. Call it a routine, a schedule, a plan, or a guide. The purpose is to give you an idea of what to do when. Whatever your method, keep it flexible so a sudden change won't wreck your week. Check yourself out by keeping a daily record of what you do now. After a few weeks, analyze the record. You'll see how your time is spent and where you should make changes. That is actually great advice. Suggests a Texas woman. Start a new routine by listing jobs to be done daily, weekly, or monthly, plus extra jobs you want to do. Then, assign jobs to days of the week, building around one major happening for each day. For instance, Monday, wash. Tuesday, iron. Wednesday, mend. Thursday, wash or catch up. Friday, clean. Saturday, bake. Sunday, church and relax. In parentheses, this is only an example. Plans are very personal. If you have a job outside your home, a daily plan will help you get the most from your at-home time. Women vary too. Your own work habits will influence your happenings. Some women go through the whole house and clean one thing, all the windows or all the rugs. Others completely clean one room at a time. Women, they really vary. Some women wash clothes every day. Others only do it once or twice a week, even with an automatic washer and dryer. Weigh extracurricular jobs. If you enjoy sewing, yard work, gardening, canning, and freezing, try to work them in. If you don't like these chores, cut them down to a comfortable size or cut them out. Don't overspend your energy to save pennies. Keep these points in mind as you develop your daily plan of things to do. Bullet point. Finish one full attention job and put away the tools before you haul out equipment to start another job. You can vacuum while the washer runs, but you can't vacuum and wax the floors at the same time. 2. Do dreaded chores first, then pleasant ones. 3. Work at your hours of peak energy. If you're a morning person, do major jobs early, says a Connecticut wife. If you're an afternoon person, as I am, save major jobs for late afternoon. 4. Try to alternate standing and sitting jobs. 5. Keep your plan flexible. Maybe you should take that ride with your husband instead of mopping the floor. And sometimes you may have to clean up spilled paint instead of doing the ironing as planned. Consider yourself. A woman blessings is a must for many homemakers. For a change of pace, try to leave the house occasionally, if only to window shop or have your hair done. Get acquainted with other women. If your neighbors are the older, established kind, use the ask advice approach, as a California woman does. Pick something simple like, have you found a really good floor wax? Take them a pie or invite them over for coffee. Don't worry about your house. They've probably been through the same struggle and remember it well. Find at least one woman friend you can really talk with. Even one telephone call a day can ease the loneliness when you are housebound. Says an Iowa homemaker. A South Dakota woman, another South Dakota woman, talks by letter to a friend from 4-H camp days. I can tell her anything. It helps to know she's there listening when my letter arrives. Your health deserves some attention too. Make an appointment to visit your doctor for a checkup if you haven't seen him lately. Maybe you need glasses, dentistry, vitamins, iron, more sleep, or better balanced meals. No homemaking routine is going to work if your health is below par. Push a button. Collect good equipment. Vacuum cleaner with attachments, steam iron, rider mower for a big lawn. All these helpers stretch your energy. You may have to add items one at a time as budget permits, but plan for them. Most women agree that a dishwasher is their best defense against kitchen clutter. I've had a dishwasher for years, says a Virginia homemaker, and I still give it grateful pats when I go by. True. Until your dishwasher arrives, try rinsing the dishes, storing them under the sink, and then washing them once a day. That's good, actually. I've lived in places without dishwashers before, and we just always wash them like as soon as we're done with them, you know. The automatic clothes dryer is another appliance that gets high ratings. I'd sacrifice buying other things to get a dryer, says an Indiana woman. Let people help. Stomach growl. Assign the family part of the action. Your husband might lend a hand with heavy mopping and lifting. He also may take a suggestion that he toss his clothes into a handy hamper, even though he's been dropping things in a heap for years. If not, concentrate on his good qualities and train your children to keep the house, which is also theirs, in order. I am in pain. Okay. Part-time help can also be a big boost. When I get really swamped every 2 or 3 months, I hire a neighbor girl. She's worth every penny I pay her, writes a 28-year-old Nevada mother of 4. God bless. Hang in there. Old habits aren't easily changed, so don't expect miracles. You can't overhaul yourself, the family, and the house all at once. Keep adjusting your work and your plan until things fit. Look for ways to shortcut or improve each job. Borrow ideas from friends, neighbors, extension bulletins, magazines, and from this very book. Adopt the ideas that work for you. Discard others. There are no hard and fast rules to homemaking, says a South Dakota woman. This South Dakota woman wrote this whole book, I know it. That's one of the marvelous advantages of the job. Oh yes, there will always be a few down days, even with the best of plans. Be ready for them. Maybe taking a long walk, changing your hairdo, putting on a special dress, or playing a favorite record will perk you right up. Take time to admire what you do accomplish each day too, urges an Oklahoma woman. Spend an extra minute to look at those sparkling windows, your mouth-watering cake, or that freshly ironed shirt. Here's how I calm myself when I feel pulled in all directions, writes an Iowa woman. so storage options here. You can get a pegboard panel inside each closet door, a chest of drawers installed at the front or back entry, and that's where you put your school supplies. A small spice rack serves as a downstairs medicine cabinet. Attach a bicycle basket to the inside of closet doors to hold scarves and gloves. If you're lucky enough to have an unused bedroom, turn it into your horror room, where you keep the doors closed on mending, ironing, and half-finished projects. For the kitchen, you can make a rolling pin holder from 2 spring clamps used for holding brooms. Screw the clamps to the underside of an upper cabinet near the counter where you bake. Slip the handles of your rolling pin into the clamps. Store envelopes of dry soups and salad dressing mixes in a paper napkin holder. And an Illinois homemaker attached a holder for paper towels to the underside of her kitchen dining table. It's near her chair, and she finds it handy for mopping up spills at mealtime. She buys pretty bordered towels for that holder, and the family uses them as napkins. So this is like a lot of, these are just like actual like little suggestions. So this is all kitchen storage suggestions. Use clip-on drapery rings to hang up pot holders. The rings are easy to remove when pot holders go into the laundry hamper. A cup hook mounted near the sink holds rings or bracelets while you prepare food, wash dishes, or clean the kitchen floor. Magnetic knife holder can organize nail clippers, scissors, nail files, and a few pins and needles in your bathroom. Tack a small pin cushion inside your closet to keep a variety of pins handy. It's basically like using other objects to achieve other things, I guess. An old silverware chest painted to match the bedroom makes a good jewelry box. A silverware chest? I've never. Some cleaning is necessary. You can't live in a house without raising some dust or tracking in dirt. The more children, the more dust raising and dirt tracking. Keep that in mind when you buy a new chair, rug, table, or sofa pillow. If you want to keep the cleaning time to a minimum, choose furnishings that won't need much attention. Before you buy anything for the house, ask yourself, will it stay clean for a reasonable amount of time? Will it look clean even when it's soiled? Can it be cleaned and easily? Choose such things as stain-resistant fabric finishes for sofas and chairs, and no iron fabric finishes for curtains. Yes. Remember that tweeds and mixtures of colors show soil less than plain solid colors, whether they appear in furniture or floor coverings. Oh yeah, 70's. Tell me about it. So, it says to take 15 minutes a day. A tidy house gives the impression that you have a clean house. Many homemakers find. To achieve this, they recommend the daily pickup, which takes 10 to 15 minutes. You go through the house, empty ashtrays, collect papers and stray items, clean off flat surfaces, and stack magazines. Do this every day. Pick your own time before you go to bed, while the baby naps, or right after breakfast. One woman lists these 3 jobs she tackles every morning. Make the bed. Pick up and put away every single thing that's out of place. Do the dishes and clean the drain board. It's pretty good. On the side it says, I've found everyone else's house usually looks cleaner than mine, just because it's different dirt. That's cute. When the baby outgrows his soft bristle hairbrush, use it to dust your sheer fabric lampshades. The fine bristles will not injure delicate fabrics. I have a baby brush. A soft paintbrush is the handiest tool in her cleaning kit. She likes it for dusting lampshades, picture frames, and hard-to-reach places. She uses it damp or dry and says the brush itself is easy to clean. Use a plastic windshield scraper to remove flour from a pastry board. Like all of these suggestions, I'm like, I don't. Okay. Wax windowsills and sashes so they will be easier to dust. I feel like nowadays, like, the paint is good enough. You don't have to like wax it, maybe. Cleaning tricks. To dust papered walls, as we all know, the 70's were poppin'. Use a soft brush or cloth. Or make a soft fabric cover for your broom. Begin dusting at the top of the wall and work down. Now I would just use my like Swiffer. Remove lime deposits from your tea kettle with 3 parts water and 1 part vinegar. Bring to a boil and let stand overnight. Discard the solution and wash the kettle. Ooh. If children have scribbled on the wallpaper with wax crayon, an Illinois homemaker suggests using fine steel wool to remove the markings. Remove stuck-on food from pots and pans by adding a small amount of water. Bring the water to a boil. Remove from heat. Cool and wash as usual. I would try that. Fixing up. I don't know what a lot of these things are. A Kansas woman made a high boy from 2 old dressers bought at a sale. What is a high boy? A new house may be handier than an old one, but it still needs attention. And oh, how the scratches show. I almost had a nervous breakdown trying to keep mine new. Slip covers won't slip or slide out of shape if you buy rubber kneeling pads. Cut them in half lengthwise and insert them in the tuck-in space around the seat cushions. It's literally like a different language. Rubber kneeling pads. Is that like if you're like kneeling to like scrub the floor or something? Toys and small objects can't drop through your furnace registers in your floor if you wire a piece of window screen to the underside of the grating. That's pretty smart, actually. Satine drops treats down the grates all the time. That's a pretty cool one. Although I don't know how to get that out. I guess maybe. Oh, that's a pretty good one. An Oregon mother encouraged her teenage son to confine his school pennants and clippings to the pegboard paneling that covers half a wall in his bedroom. Very nice. Some organization is necessary, but maybe you are spending too much time listing and not enough doing. I don't need to be called out by that. Use a plastic shower cap to protect your hair from paint splatters when you're painting. Very good, very good. If your favorite vase or flower bowl cracked, coat the inside with a layer of paraffin and let it harden. Okay. Oh. Replace all bulbs in a multi-light ceiling fixture. When one bulb burns out, the others soon will burn out too. You'll need a ladder less often than if you replace bulbs one at a time. Any still good bulbs can be used for table lamps, which are Save those extra minutes to spend on something more creative, sewing, reading, or perhaps preparing a really special recipe for dinner. I mean, a lot of these are kind of silly. Oh, do shaved chocolate finely. Use a potato peeler, quicker than a knife or grater. Use colorful trays instead of placemats for busy day family meals. The trays catch any spills and speed up table clearing. Keep waffles crisp and warm when you make them ahead of time by storing them in the oven. Spread the baked waffles unstacked on a cookie sheet in a warm oven, 250 degrees. None of the family will have to wait for a waffle if you have some made ahead. Oh, this is cool. What is there to eat? I keep a list of available goodies magnetized to the door of the refrigerator. Whoever eats the last of anything crosses it off the list. I used to keep a list of all the food I had to remind me of like what to eat next, so I wouldn't like waste food. And like to me it was easier to like look at the list than to look in the pantry for some reason. My brain, I don't know. Separate sticky dried fruit by putting it in a warm oven for a few minutes. Dates, figs, or raisins will come apart, and the wrapping paper can be removed easily. Use your bun warmer to freshen and soften marshmallows. What is a bun warmer? And why do I need to freshen my marshmallows? Place marshmallows in foil-lined basket of warmer. Pour 3 tablespoons of water in the warmer. Replace the basket and set over low heat, just as you do for buns. I'm looking this up. Bun warmer. Oh. Okay, this is like $2,000. Bun warmers. This is like, is it like a, okay, this is like $200. Bun warmer. Bun warmer. A lot of these are like hot dog buns. Oh, look at this. Okay, Etsy has some. Here we go. West Bend aluminum serving oven bun warmer vintage. Bun warmer. There you go. Freshen your marshmallows in your bun warmer. Amazing. Okay. Let's scoot over to pets. Let's see if we have good suggestions since I have a dog. Use old nylon hose, pantyhose, to stuff a pillow for a pet dog or cat. The pillow can be washed and dried in a jiffy. What? Keep an extra baster to siphon off refuse that collects in the fishbowl. Okay, so like a fishbowl cleaner. Use a funnel to fill feeding dishes in a bird cage. You can make one of paper. Try putting a litter of puppies into a baby's discarded playpen when they become too large to keep in a box. True, the playpens are very good for puppies. Oh, God. If you are constantly vacuuming up dog hairs around the house, there's probably an odor built up in the vacuum. Put some mothballs in the vacuum case to banish it. That's it. That's all we get for dogs. Game time. Oh my gosh. Wait. circle, each player repeating all the articles mentioned before and adding one of his own, but the articles must be in alphabetical order. I used to play that all the time. Oh my goodness. I can't. This book is something else. Etc. I feel like all these, like, what's it called? Like advice things are so weird. Copy addresses of family and friends on 3x5 index card filed alphabetically. It's easy to add names or change addresses, and there's room for birth dates, anniversaries, food likes and dislikes. I remember like address books and stuff. Nowadays, I feel like we don't really, like, it's kind of annoying to get friends' addresses. We just text them. Like, I text my friend like 5 times. Like, what's your address again? What's your address again? What's your address again? A tin can secretary is the handiest gadget in her kitchen, claims a California woman. It's a number 2 can with lid removed, and it holds a pen, pencils, laundry marker, scissors, and a tube of glue. A small stapler and a few paper clips hang on the rim. Rubber bands circle the can. The homemaker covered the can with self-adhesive plastic. It's like, okay. I put items in a can. Very nice. Very nice. Alright. I didn't get any. Where's the children one? Children. A child's sleigh can be made out of an ordinary sled by cutting off the legs of an old chair just below the seat and fastening the seat to the sled. I guess I don't know the difference between a sleigh and a sled. Keep a small rectangular wastebasket at the end of your kitchen counter to collect toys that toddlers drag into the kitchen but forget to drag back. To sharpen a crayon without waste, hold it near heat until softened, then taper it to a point with your fingers. I feel like that would not work. Give small children something to work on while you sew. Thread a tapestry needle with colored twine. Attach the twine to a mesh dishcloth. Children can weave the needle and twine through the mesh. Okay. Well, fantastic. Let's see what's at the end of the book here. When you drive. Are we driving? A large discarded purse makes a splendid automobile first aid and sewing kit. If it's left in the car, you're always ready to dress a small cut or sew up a ripped seam.